Hey, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. So, if you're seeing this on YouTube, more than likely you are on the Black Wealth Digital Blueprint channel. Welcome. If this is your first time, I am really excited to have you here. This is one of our first videos, and it's going to be good. So lock in, tune in. You may want to get a notebook so you can write, so you can take some notes, or a tablet, or however you take notes, because what we're going to go over in this video is several jobs, probably about 8 to 10 jobs that Microsoft founder Bill Gates believes will be done, like out of here, and by 2028, you guys. So obviously that is not far. That's not like the long term. That's not far off in the distance. That is like in 3 years, 2.5 years, depending on when in 2028 he thinks this is going to happen. Now, let me say that I don't believe the jobs we're going to talk about, I don't believe they are going to completely be replaced by AI by 2028. I don't really think that is the case with hardly, let me emphasize, hardly any job. Now, I do think some jobs, and we'll talk about that in another video because this is going to be split up. So there will be a part 2. So make sure you come back. If you're not already subscribed, I invite you to do so you can get notifications, and it'll be easier for you to get the rest of this awesome content. But I don't think these jobs are going to be totally replaced by 2028. However, these jobs are definitely going to be less available. There will be less, and probably significantly less, of these jobs available by 2028, and certainly by 2030. All right. So just keep that in mind. If you have one of these jobs, if you have family, friends in any of these roles, I strongly encourage you, if you have not already started to do so, you definitely want to plan. You want to prepare. You want to plan and prepare to up level, upskill, pivot, make a change sooner rather than later. All right. So let's get into it. So obviously this is about AI, artificial intelligence. This is about Bill Gates believing AI is going to replace a number of jobs. Now, we're just going to talk about 8 to 10 in this particular video series, but make no mistake, and you can look this up for yourself, Bill Gates and a number of other people, in particular, some tech experts, tech gurus, what have you, believe that AI is going to replace a lot of jobs in a number of professions. And you should also know the jobs that they expect AI to replace, they're not just quote unquote low level, low skilled jobs. I think for a lot of people and for a while, that was the belief, that was the perception. That's still the belief and perception among a lot of people that, if I have a college education, and if I have a professional job, if I have a white collar job, then I'm safe. AI will not and cannot replace my job. And you would be wrong. Okay. You would be wrong. And I'm not telling you that every white collar job and every professional job is going to be replaced, but y'all, there is talk of AI replacing some in the medical field. And I'm talking about doctors. There's talk of AI replacing some, not necessarily all, but some teaching jobs. Coding. And y'all, AI has to be coded. So it's not going to, more than likely, it won't replace all coding jobs, but there are some coding jobs that could be at risk because of AI. So just keep that in mind. If you've had this perception that AI is only coming for low level, and again, that could be quote unquote, depending on what you consider to be low level, but low level, low skilled jobs. For an example, I will offer an example: cashiers. And we're going to talk about that in this series, maybe not in this particular video, but we'll talk about it in this video series. Cashiers, retail cashiers, the writing is already on the wall with that. But that may be an example of what you had in mind as well as a job that is definitely not safe from AI. Well, just keep in mind, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond cashiers. It goes beyond the jobs that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. So, you may need to open your mind some. You may need to pivot and really take into account the impact AI is already having and more than likely going to continue to have, and in particular over the next several years, the impact it's going to have in the workplace. Okay. And something here on this slide, this is no longer just speculation. Major companies, we're not talking just small businesses. We're not talking mid-sized companies. Major companies, big companies are already implementing AI, and it's replacing some human workers, okay, in multiple industries. This is not just in isolated scenarios or just targeted industries. It's happening kind of across the board. So all right, let's get into this. Which of these jobs does Bill Gates believe are going to be pretty much gone by 2028? And again, they may not all be gone, but it's going to look different. Okay, less of these jobs will be available. So number one, customer service reps. That's not a surprise to some, if not all of you. CSRs, customer service reps. Chatbots are already replacing some customer service reps. All right. I mean, it's happening. If you have not called or you haven't gone onto a website and experienced a chatbot, I don't know what you've been doing because I definitely have. Most people I know have. When you call, a lot of companies, and you may have experienced this when you call about your cable or you call about your smartphone, you call about, certain other, especially tech oriented products and services. You have probably heard, of course, you've heard a recording, you've been taken into some type of automation, or you may have dealt with a bot. You may have dealt with some type of AI agent. That is happening. That's happening now. So there's a Gartner study that shows 25% of customer service operations already use AI chatbots extensively. 25%. Okay. That's like now it's probably grown some, even beyond 25%. This number could triple within 5 years. So y'all, this again is just indicative of how quickly AI is moving. That number could triple as in become 75%. 75% of customer service operations could be replaced or have some kind of integration with AI chatbots within 5 years. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Not to mention, a lot of service reps are just bad. I'm talking about humans. Human customer service is so broken. I mentioned cable earlier, which is one of the worst cable, telecom. It's one of the worst industries for customer service. Between the outsourcing that's happened, between the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing, between poor training. I mean, it's a shit show. I mean, for lack of a better term, and that's just what came to mind. It's not good. So you have that to contend with as well. If you are, an excellent customer service agent or customer service rep, if you are really above average, you are stellar, then you might have a chance of keeping your job. You may even be able to elevate and be able to, if you can train human customer service reps to be better. But I would strongly suggest you learn some AI skills if you haven't already. Use and leverage AI to help you do your job better or to find some solutions to better service, find solutions to retention, increasing retention among customers. If you are able to do that, even within a CSR role, you, that is one way, certainly, or that's a couple of ways to make yourself irreplaceable. All right, let's move on to the next role. Truck drivers. Now, again, I don't see all truck drivers going away within 2.5, 3 years. I don't know if that will ever happen completely. But y'all, this is more about the change that could happen. This is more about these roles, these positions looking very different than they look now. That's what this is about. This is about a lot less of these jobs being available. So as some of you already know, maybe all of you know, autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles are a threat to truck drivers, and that just means that these are vehicles that operate on their own. These are self-driving vehicles. So we know there are already some on the road, that there is expected to be more on the road. Notice that stat there. Goldman Sachs estimates over 300,000 driving jobs could vanish, and there's that 5 years again. Tesla, Waymo, and Uber are testing driverless trucks. I have read there are other companies, possibly UPS, some of these, the mail delivery, Amazon. There are other companies, but just keep those three in mind. Tesla, Waymo, and Uber testing driverless trucks and driverless vehicles. So if you're a truck driver, again, this may be the time for you to become an owner operator, not just an operator, but own your own truck or fleet of trucks. Or again, you want to up level, you want to upskill, look for ways to stand out among other truck drivers. And my core message, use AI to elevate, use AI to monetize, to position yourself to be in a better place rather than allow AI to kind of bum rush you. Okay, so there are two of those jobs right there. All right, next one, data processing, data entry. Again, this is one where the writing has been on the wall. It's been on the wall for some time. If you are a data entry clerk and you really believe you have a long, you have a lot of opportunity and long-term opportunities in data entry, you would be mistaken. I'm sorry if I'm the first or the only one to tell you that, but I imagine me holding your hand, and I'm saying this with love and a kick in the butt too, because I need you to come on and face reality, okay? So AI driven automation could handle, again, some of these numbers are are just crazy, could handle up to 90% of data entry tasks within 3 years, according to McKinsey. So in this case, it's even less time, 3 years. And most of these studies have come out just within the last few years. Some of these studies are even from 2024 and 2025. So don't think, well, maybe her data is old. No, no. All of these studies are within the last 2 or 3 years. Okay. So data entry tends to be repetitive, and that is a big thing. That is something for you to really be mindful of in terms of, which jobs are most at risk from AI. It's things that are jobs that are repetitive, and they involve repetitive tasks, redundant tasks, tasks that don't require really a lot of thought. They don't require a lot of emotional intelligence, because keep in mind, of course, we're talking about artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence doesn't have the same amount of emotional intelligence, at least usually, but that even is changing. I mean, they're working on that. Okay. But if you do something that really does not involve really any real skills, and it's repetitive, then that is a problem. Okay. All right, moving on to the fourth job that is expected to be replaced pretty soon: telemarketers. And I will say this also applies to certain sales jobs, okay? Telemarketers and certain sales jobs, because telemarketing is essentially a sales job, all right? Sometimes people don't think of it like that, because telemarketers often are, that's one of those jobs that's considered by some, to be kind of low level and entry level, and you're just, on the phone calling people. When frankly, some telemarketing jobs do require some real skill. I mean, a lot of times you have to follow a script. Sometimes you don't have a script, so you have to improvise and really know how to connect with people. Either way, it's mostly using the telephone to contact prospective buyers. That is something that AI can certainly do. There are these AI driven voice bots. They're already making a lot of these calls. A lot of businesses, from small to large, frankly, are utilizing these type of tools. So again, I want to reiterate this. Just see what's on the screen. Both of these roles involve repetitive tasks that AI excels at performing. Notice how that's written: excels at performing, and in less time. That's the thing. AI can do a lot of this stuff in less time, more efficiently, and sometimes more accurately than humans. Yeah. All right. And the next role or job, and the last one that we're going to talk about in this video: warehouse. Warehouse workers. This also has already started. Amazon is using bots in their warehouse. Oh man, I don't know if y'all can hear that. It just all of a sudden started thundering like crazy. But Amazon is using bots in their warehouse. Gates cited that in this, interview or article or whatever, where he was talking about this, where the robots are doing just about everything. They're sorting, they're packing, they're shipping products. All of that cuts down on human labor that's needed. All right. That's one example. Another example: UPS. UPS is utilizing robotics. They have robots that, now get this, I want y'all to hear this. UPS has robots that move at like 5 to 6 miles an hour. Now, compared to a car, that doesn't sound, that fast. But think about that. Think about when you are in a car and like when you're in traffic, you're going 5 miles per hour. Yes, it's slow, but you as a human, it's not as easy for you and I to you. I don't know if that's the right grammar. You and me, you and I, it's not as easy for us to move 5 to 6 miles per hour, not without running. Okay. If you're going to cover 5 miles an hour, you'd have to be running, and you can't really run and work. You can't really run and carry 50 pounds, which is also what these robots at UPS can do. They can pack as much as or carry as much as 50 pounds while moving 5.5 to 6 miles per hour. So yeah, that's what you're competing with as a warehouse worker. So you guys, these are just a few of these jobs. I think we covered 5. We're going to cover probably 5 more in the next video. So make sure that you come back, make sure that you're subscribed if you haven't already. And I invite you to subscribe. You know, I don't always push people and like subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I think you will definitely benefit from subscribing, but I want you to subscribe because you find the information valuable, because you really want to better yourself. You want to prepare and position yourself, your brand, your business for this shift that's already happening, this major shift that's happening. So there you go. Let me know definitely in the comments if you found this helpful. If you have any thoughts on this, if you maybe you disagree. Again, you know, that's why I said it from the very beginning, kind of like a preface. I don't think these jobs are completely going away or will be completely going away by 2028 or perhaps even by 2030 or 2035. But will there be less of these jobs and probably significantly less of these jobs? Oh, hell yes. I believe that. I do believe that. So, alrighty, there you go. And it is thundering like crazy. That's crazy. If y'all could see, okay, anyway, the sun was just shining 20 minutes ago, but that's crazy Texas weather for you. But you guys, if you want to, speaking of preparing and positioning yourself, you want to get your hands on the Unfair AI Advantage Playbook, the AI Unfair Advantage Playbook. That is an absolutely free resource. It should be included in the description. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you get that because it may not always be free, but at least right now it is completely free. So you can grab that and just some of what you'll find there, 15 ways to use AI to get your next promotion. There's like 12 things you should be doing with AI. There's all kinds of things you can do with AI without coding. 25 of some of the best AI tools, 25 of some of the best AI tools out there and how you can leverage those tools. All of that and more is in that playbook. So make sure you grab that. All right. Take care and take some action.